Buongiorno, good evening everybody, it's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you lads and lasses. We're here late night to discuss the latest evening's transfer news and of the day and to see if there's any big breaking news in the next sort of hour or so. Let's be having you. Welcome in to everybody aboard the live chat at the moment. Thank you for joining us. Let's see who's in here. Shout out to all you legends waiting. We got Robert Hewer, Red Devil, John O'Connor. Yes, mate. Let's go. Aaron, thanks for putting the link to give us a repost there. You can repost us on X if you fancy. We'll shout you out later on in the show. Legends. Rooney's United, Super Fat Frank, Kieran Lord, Matty Smith, Nas, Mr. Leo G. Let's be having you. Simon, Robert. Yes, Dave Watkins, your hero. What's going on? Joshua Simway, Nick Sparta. Yes, mate. Prima Italia, Dublin Games, Super Fat Frank, Eric, Squid, Brandon, El Grandes, Ian Navarro, and everybody who's in here, thank you very much for joining us, you heroes. Do us a favour this evening, then smash that like button at the start of this stream, share us around, get yourself subscribed and involved in the live chat. We'd love to hear from you. We're dipping in and out, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end. Oh, yes, you know it makes sense. Hello, Ronnie, Matty Smith, and everyone else. And Canute, you legend, much love to you, Don. How's it going? Let's get stuck into the latest transfer news then. Looks like maybe we can get that Sancho Muppet out of this team. No, he's not going to sign for Jim Henson's fucking workshop. He's apparently maybe open at least to maybe going to Italy. Roma bidding essentially 20 million on the never for him. But essentially, we can get rid of this melt job in this summer transfer window if he's open to leaving to go to Roma. See you later on, mate. Have fun playing with Kermit. He is an absolute muppet, this man. Possibly the worst signing we've ever made. He's right up there with the worst anyway. Obviously, you could say the same about lots of our players, be it Alexis Sanchez or Pogba or, whoever, Anthony, Hojlund, there's lots. But most of them pale in comparison to the melter that truly is the most spoiled brat, the biggest waste of money, the biggest waste of wages, biggest initial waste of initial fee maybe out of all these players in terms of what they've given us. Just the biggest flop going, the biggest flopper going. And that is Jadon Sancho. Yes, see you later on, Jadon. I really, truly hope we get rid of this melt. Obviously, it's not guaranteed at the moment, but Roma have lodged a bid. Let's discuss that. So at the moment, Jadon Sancho his future's up in the air. He's on a big cushy deal at Manchester United, getting a few £100,000 a week for doing basically nothing. He's loving it. He doesn't care. Does he want to go and play somewhere, try and fight his way back into the England setup for next summer's World Cup? Probably not, mate. Probably quite happy just pulling his plonker for 300k a week. And most of us probably would be, to be honest. But still, though, he only gets one career and he should be trying to make the most of it. And his contribution to Manchester United since we signed him all those years ago now has been precisely zero. What a waster. Name me a worse signing than Jadon Sancho. It's very difficult to do so. I actually do think he's the worst one. For the little contribution that he's given us, the length of time that he's been here, the fact that he's still lingering here, lingering on, hanging on, man, like a Klingon. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying, guys? It's difficult, mate. So, essentially, what I'm saying is he's a hemorrhoid on Manchester United right now. And we need to get rid of him. That's what we need to do. And obviously, any money back for him would be brilliant. If we could get 20 million, I think that's absolutely sensational, to be fair. I wouldn't give you a Cadbury cream egg for this melt, to be fair, guys. So let's have a look at it. So the reports on Sancho are, like the likes of Fabrizio Romano saying this. AS Roma submit official bid to Manchester United to sign Jadon Sancho. Get in there, my son, first of all. I'm just hopeful that we can move on this melt this summer. That would be truly amazing. This guy does not deserve to be at Manchester United, does not deserve to be getting the wages that he's getting. Just basically a scumbag, isn't he? I've decided he's a scumbag, and that's based on his contributions to Manchester United, not as him as it seems a bit of a questionable melt, if you ask me. But in terms of his actual contributions to Man United, it's been scum. Scumworthy performances from him for a long time. Before he fell out with the previous manager, obviously, and was unprofessional. And then since then, it's just down tools, doesn't give a shite, gets paid shitloads of cash. Don't like him. Don't like him at all. I just can't wait to see the back of him, guys. Anyway, so that's what Fab says, that AS Roma submit official bid to Manchester United to sign Jadon Sancho. Permanent move for £20 million offered, while clubs also are open to a loan with a buy clause. Decisions up to Manchester United and Sancho's camp. AS Roma are also in contact with Sancho and Bailey as well, Leon Bailey. Okay. Little bit more on that. Ben Jacobs says this, more on Jadon Sancho. Roma are now in club-to-club talks with different structures being explored after making an offer worth £20 million. Manchester United prefer a permanent exit. Roma have discussed buying Sancho outright as well as a loan with a conditional obligation. We certainly want to get rid of this melt outright, don't we? I would hate to think of we're just going to get him on a loan. He's got a season left on his contract, for Pete's sake. What sort of rubbish loan deal is that? You know, what does that even mean? A loan deal with an option? What? Conditional obligation? That's strange. I mean, essentially, what are we saying here? If his contract runs out in a year's time and he goes out on loan, then why would they... A conditional obligation? That's strange. So they're basically offsetting the payment that they would make this summer until next summer. That's the only logical way it could work. But why wouldn't they just wait and get him in 6 months' time for free, or pay that money up front? So I don't think that works for Manchester United, personally. We've got to get that money up front, in my opinion, to make this worthwhile. But, you know, obviously they wouldn't want that because they can just offset it for next year, or they could just get him on a season-long loan for now, and then he'll be a free agent soon enough. So there you go. But we obviously prefer a permanent exit. Thank you so much for your super chat here, by the way. Wait a second. Super chat from Dave Watkins. Thank you so much, my friend, for getting in there raw with a £5 super chat there, my friend. Thank you. He says, Piggy, which is floppier, Jadon Sancho or Andre Onana's foam wrist? Cheers, lad. Well, it is Andre's wrist. It's Andre's wrist. I mean, that might be the floppiest material known to man. You know what I mean? Never mind foam, never mind jelly, never mind flubber. You know, I think he has got the most floppiest, squidgiest wrists in the world, hasn't he? But actually, Jadon Sancho is a bigger twat. You know, I like Andre Onana. Andre Onana tries hard. God love a trier. You know what I mean? Andre tries. You know, he's always given it his all. He's never taken it for granted. He's always working hard. He's never been unprofessional. He's never rocking the boat. Andre's a good fella, mate. Nothing wrong with Andre Onana. Just a bit of a shit goalkeeper. You know, God bless him. He's a calamity in the goals. But, goodness me, I'd rather have 11 Andre Onanas than one Jadon Sancho. Hello.
Sorry, Fez. You know what you're doing with the remote control?
Yeah, it's right here, Mrs. P.
Oh, okay.
There you go. No worries. Have you taken the HDMI out and put it in the back of you? You're going to have to do that if you're going to...
Oh,
okay. Yeah, because... All right, no worries. Thanks, Mrs. P. Okay, so yeah, thanks for that, Dave Watkins. Andre Onana is a calamity. We do need to replace him. But Jadon Sancho is more of a toxic individual in every single way. Andre Onana, for me, he's a nice fella and he works hard. He's just crap. You know, so same with Rasmus Hojlund. I've got no real problem with Rasmus Hojlund's sort of effort levels or his mentality, or, well, I've got a problem with his mentality, but I mean, I've not got a problem with his actual sort of work rate or, you know, his determination. Again, he's just rubbish. Sesko scored more goals last season than Rasmus Hojlund had chances on target in the Premier League. Do you know that? Sesko scored more league goals, 13, in the Bundesliga last season than Rasmus Hojlund had shots on target in the league. That is an actual stat. So those guys, they're absolutely rubbish. Same goes for Andre Onana. He's worth losing 15 points for the season as well. But, you know, again, those guys, they've got better mentality. Sancho is a real spoiled brat. He is what we call in the industry a bad egg, which has had an effect of maybe rotting some of the other eggs in the basket. Because look what's happened to old Billy Big Bollocks, Marky Rashford, since someone like Jadon Sancho's come on the scene. You know, so that's it really. Where are you getting this from there, Mr. Anonymous? What's your source? Anyway, so you know, obviously lots of different outlets saying this is the case. Looks like Sancho to Roma is a big possibility. Here's a little bit more on it. Actually, this is via Florian, just basically says the same, but he says that AS Roma are now going all in for Jadon Sancho. The deal would be a loan with an obligation to buy. United have received an official offer, total package currently around 23 million euros. United are reviewing the offer. Overall, it looks good. Deal possible. I mean, like I say, if it's a deal, even if it's offset for a year's time, where they're definitely guaranteed having to give us 23 million euros or 20 million pounds, then I don't care if they give it to us now or next year. As long as that is a guarantee. Because as I say, his contract's running out at United, and we can't have any, return to sender guff in a year's time, and then his contract just runs out, then he's a free agent. That would be pathetic. Obviously, there's going to have to be the stipulation that that's the amount of money that it's going to take, and it's just being offset. So that would be a fantastic amount to get, actually, for Jadon Sancho. Let me ask the live chat real quick. How much do you think Jadon Sancho is worth right now? What do you think he's actually worth? So they're offering apparently around about £20 million. What do you think he's actually worth based on the length of his contract, the performances he's put in, his attitude, just everything? What do you think? Honestly, I think we'd be absolutely over the moon if we received £20 million for Jadon Sancho at this stage, because he is a spent force. He is a used tea bag. You know what I mean? Once you've used a tea bag, guys, you've got that nice, lovely Yorkshire Gold tea bag in that cup, and you've poured that hot boiling water on top of it, and you've made your cup of tea, cup of Rosie Lee with a bit of dash of milk and a couple of spoonfuls of sugar. Yeah, if you've got a sweet tooth like me. After you've made that tea, you take that tea bag out and you toss it in the bin. That's what you do. You throw it in the rubbish, my friends, because it's no longer usable. Unless you're on a real budget, in which case you might use them twice. Do you know what I mean? But let's face it, not many people doing that. You chuck it away. And that, my friends, is what's happened here with Jadon Sancho. He is a teabagger of a man, and he has now been used up. And there wasn't much flavour in that tea. There wasn't much flavour, no. It wasn't a nice cup of Yorkshire Gold. It was more along the lines of just a hot cup of muggy water. That's kind of what it was, really, with a bit of lime scale in there as well for good measure. That's what we've sort of been served up there with Jadon Sancho. So good riddance to bad news. Apparently he's open to Roma. Fab says that he's open to Roma, or at least he says Jadon Sancho's opened doors to AS Roma move, and the proposal's worth 20 million euros as a total package. Loan deal with obligation to buy proposal, easy conditions to activate the permanent deal. Sancho doesn't want to go to Turkey at this stage despite reports. Again, Sancho, one of the luckiest footballers I've ever known. He does have talent. That's all he's really got. He does have talent, but in terms of attitude and his actual performances and what he sort of adds to a team, if you look at him, other than at Dortmund, his stats and everything, very unimpressive. Yeah, Chelsea was okay, I guess, but let's face it, he's been gashed for years and his attitude sucks. So I'm kind of surprised anybody wants him, but he's got to be the luckiest guy because, again, another big, good club in Italy is interested in him. It's Roma, and they are a very good destination to play for him. Go and live in Rome, in and around Rome, play for one of the biggest clubs in Italy, and be having a good old time. So, again, Jadon Sancho is a very lucky individual. He's somehow getting these big moves to clubs that are apparently interested in him. I don't know why they are, but they are. I mean, we got mugged off for him, so it's no surprise, is it? We paid 73 million for this absolute melter. 25 million, you really think we could get that for him? That's crazy. 50p, 5p, 40, 10 million, 15 million. A packet of Watsits. McFlurry, a large fries. Worth nothing. He's worth a soggy loaf. 35, 15, 2 sardine tins. A wet newspaper. I see the theme here, guys. People saying not worth too much. 20's about right. Fair enough. I'd say we'd be lucky to get 10. Seth says 10. So if we can snatch Roma's hand off for £20 million, let's do it. And if we can swap said hand with Andre Onana's right hand and give him a hand made of not so much flubber, that would be fantastic as well. Maybe 2 birds with 1 stone there. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Big up Tactical Devils. How you doing, mate? Welcome aboard. How are you doing, my friend? He says, big up, Pig, 10 million euros. Yeah, precisely. Sancho can't have a large transfer value. Also, his wages are astronomical. I can't imagine that they're prepared to pay 100% of his wages. Reports are, 300k a week, or at least 250,000 a week that Sancho's on. I'm sorry, but, are they going to pay 100% of his wages if it's a loan deal for the season? We must get him off of our books. That's a lot of money saved if we can get him off of our books. It does seem like that may be the case. If that is the case, brilliant. Like we talked about, maybe they could pay him a little bit less in Italy, and yet he could still end up with the same amount of money, essentially, due to the tax situation. So I suppose that is a factor as well. Maybe he's not going to end up any worse off. He's teabagged the club. That he has, mate. That he has. Times are hard, Piggy. Get 2 or 3 small brews out of a good teabag these days. Now, fair enough. I feel you on that one. I've done it before in the past, but let's face it. After the first one, you know, it's just not as good, is it, mate? It's not as good. You don't want that watered down teabag, man. Anyway, just a cheeky analogy for you there. Oh, 793, you hero. What's going on, you absolute legend? Hope you're doing well tonight. I know that you are. You're a don. Kate Cadet says, hey, Pig, imagine being 2-0 in a cup final only to lose on pens. Very Spursy, that. That was a joy to bowl, wasn't it? Such a fun game to watch because the whole way you thought Spurs were going to do them, they were basically the better team for, like, much of the game. But then at the end of the game, they just did a classic Spurs bottle job, mate. Kay Slater says, here's a good question for you, Piggy. What has to happen for Sancho to regain top form, Pig? Can he, in all seriousness? I mean, he absolutely can, Kay Slater, right? This is what needs to happen for Jadon Sancho to sort of reach top form again. I believe he needs to enter into one of those machines that that you see in that movie, The Fly, with Jeff Goldblum. You know, when Jeff Goldblum enters that machine, he accidentally goes in with a housefly, doesn't realise it's in there, and he comes out the other end, it's like a teleportation machine, and he's like melded into some crazy fly hybrid, mate. Do you know what I mean? And he's come out the other end as a fly man, right? That's the sort of machine that he needs to go into, but he needs to step in there with someone, let's say, you know, like Roy Keane. You know, and if he went in there with Roy Keane, and what happens is they come out the other end, and Jadon Sancho's still got all of his talents, all of his physicalities, all of his speed, pace, all of the athleticism and all of that stuff, but he's got Roy Keane's brain that's been replaced by Roy Keane's brain coming out the other end of the fly machine, then just maybe he can go on and do some good things and recover his top form again. But, you know, unfortunately, you can't fix bone idle, can you? You can't fix lazy, or, you know, at least it's hard to. And unless he is going to have a brain transplant, I can't see how his attitude or his mentality is going to change playing for anybody else than it did for us. So, honestly, that's where I view it. I don't really think he can come back unless he has a brain transplant. Essentially, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And, you know... Okay, Kungshi, what's going on, you legend? Welcome in there, lad. Yeah, he says, can't wait for us to get that melt out of Manchester United. I completely agree with you. By the way, we've got 200 legends watching and only 91 likes. Oh, shit. What's that all about? Smash that thumbs up button and help us get to 100 likes if you could. So, just drop this phone on my big toe. Nice one. Oh, man. Okay, great. We're back. Yeah, anyway, so that's kind of what I feel. Only Timo Schafter can negotiate a deal for Sancho, Garnacho and Rashford in a single call. Oh, nice one. Thank you, Chris Fryer, for getting in here raw. Me and Josh, same person, just subs are. Okay, thank you for getting in there. You think with Sancho, he has all the talent in the world, but ultimately just can't be asked. Well said. Like I've said, he's got great talent. He's quick. He's got great feet. You know, he does have the sort of vision and sort of what you need. If you look at his record when he was at Dortmund, when he was trying to prove himself, and maybe when he was just trying to get that big money transfer, he was very good. His stats were very impressive, and he was working hard. He was looking effective. But since he got that big money move to United, almost instantaneously, really, since he come to us, he just seems to be half the player that he ever was. And he was still a young guy then. So very much a bad attitude. You said it, really. It's not the fact that it's a lack of talent. He's got great talent. I just think he can't be asked. And I don't think he has the real mentality of a true professional. You know, like somebody like a Ronaldo type who's just so dedicated that they're going to take everything super seriously. Diet, you know, fitness, health wise, all that sort of stuff, and also just have the determination required out there to reach the top and to perform to a consistent basis often, you know. That's it, really. I don't think he's got that side to his game. So he does have the talent, but, you know, so did Ravel Morrison, and look what happened there. So did Lee Sharp. Lee Sharp was a great player, by the way, and yeah, he had an okay career, but I think he ended up at, like, Bradford. You know what I mean? And no disrespect for Bradford, but just saying, Lee Sharp was an unbelievable talent. Okay, the likes of Giggsy coming through, you know, didn't help, but in terms of his place in the side and all that kind of thing. But Lee Sharp was a fantastic talent, and he could have gone on to do a lot better things, couldn't he? He could have done. He tailed off his career. It was a shame, really, because he could have had a real top career if he had a neat mentality. But he sort of didn't. That's the thing. He just liked to party a bit too much, didn't take it so seriously. And so he ended up a Bradford Melter on Love Island or whatever sort of reality TV show you're on next, you know what I mean? Fucking Big Dosser or something, you know what I mean? The Funny Farm, the Football Funny Farm, you know, some sort of, who knows what bloody reality TV show he was on, but you know what I mean? He's on them all. Thank you, Tactical. You love the analogy, the fly with Jeff Goldblum. That's a classic, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, but that's what would have to happen if Jadon Sancho was going to change to the point where he's going to go on and have an amazing career. He's got to change his mentality. He was definitely at his best for Dortmund, I agree. Too busy playing Fortnite. Okay, we're going to get onto that in a moment there, Nas. We'll give you the latest on Baleba. We're just covering the sort of the first bit of a topic of discussion, which is Sancho, but we have got the latest tonight still on obviously Baleba and Onana, Donnarumma, Garnacho, Hojlund, all that sort of stuff. Okay then, well, we'll actually move on. We'll move on then. So we'll move on from Sancho. Hopefully we can just put a pin in that and get him out of the football club this summer. I don't really mind if it is on a season-long loan, as long as there is this obligation to buy, a proper obligation to buy for next summer where they have to fork over the money and he has to go and join them. That is what I want to see happen. And also I'd like to think that a lot of his wages are going to be covered. I actually don't think that they'll be paying 100% of his wages, but maybe they will, because as I say, things can work a little bit differently in Italy. But what do you think, guys? Do you think they'll pay 100% of his wages? Bear in mind that reports suggest he's on around about £250,000 to £300,000 a week at Manchester United. So do you think they'll cover 100% of his wages this season if it's a loan? Yes or no? As well as pay 20 million next summer? I don't know, you know. I'm not 100% convinced. No, I don't know if that's in regards to this. Ronaldo is the ultimate example of what you can achieve with hard work and dedication. Yeah, spot on. That's it. He's still doing the business at 40, still looking a lot better than, you know, somebody like Jadon Sancho. No way. No chance they will pay full whack. No. Yeah, no. I have to agree, really. It's probably going to be a significant amount less, but I guess that's better than nothing. And also, if they are having to fork over 20-odd million euros next summer, then great. That's going to cover the fact that we're actually paying a percentage of his wages this season. Hello, Fresh Drip Art. What's going on, lad? Like, really well, you cheeky superstar. Can you tell I've missed you? Yes, I can. How you doing, Fresh Drip Art? Missed you too, mate. Thanks for the lovely message. How you getting on tonight, dude? Yeah, contract expires next summer. Yeah, I think there's an option for us to trigger it for another year. But we're not going to do that, are we? They ain't going to pay shit for him. Just, yeah, well, that's what I think as well. But they're essentially committing to the privilege of having him for this season, aren't they? But it might not even happen at this stage. Like, as we've said, Jadon Sancho is a little bit of a spoiled brat. Maybe he's holding out for Real Madrid to come knocking. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't put it past him. Also, I have heard reports that maybe Dortmund have an interest in him. Not to the point where they've actually had any real discussions with Manchester United, but that's what I've heard previously. And it kind of makes sense, because he was there previously and he did well, and they're a decent team. So that would make a bit of sense. So it's not guaranteed that Roma is going to be the club he's going to end up at this stage this summer, but it does look likely that he'll be leaving. It depends if this guy's open to joining them and he's not a complete spoilt melt and just decides to stay and sit on his thumbs and do nothing all season. You know, because that could happen if he just wants the 300k a week and can't be asked to play. That might actually happen. Surely he wants to go and play football. World Cup's next summer. Surely he wants to go and play. I know he's not in the setup right now, but if with a good season under his belt, you never know. So, yeah, there you go. It's just an attitude thing with Sancho, but good riddance to bad news. Hopefully we can move him on. 20 million quid's a great deal for us. If we get 10 million quid, I'll be happy. So, yeah, see you later on, Jadon. Let's talk about this really quickly. Great news, guys. Great news. That's not it. This is the great news. Great news. Andre Onana is ready to start for Man United against Arsenal on Sunday. However, the decision is now resting with Ruben Amorim. Yeah. Great news that, guys, isn't it? Positive news. Really positive news. One of our players back from injury. Great news. So anyway, Rob Dawson reporting that, and he may well be in contention. But firstly, you know, he has just come back from an injury. I guess it's a little bit different for a goalkeeper. But I hope that he's not playing, obviously, against Arsenal. We're not going to have a new goalkeeper before then. It's going to be Heaton or Bender or Onana, I suppose, if he's fit and available. The reason I'm even bringing this up is because, well, for a start, that's gash, because I really don't want him in contention to start. He may well not be, but apparently he is available at this stage if Ruben Amorim decides to chuck him in there. But he's not had a pre-season or anything. We've been playing Bender and Heaton all pre-season because of this injury. So it'll be one of those guys, won't it? What do you reckon, guys? Bender, Heaton or Onana to start against Arsenal? What do you think Ruben Amorim's going to do? I don't think he'll play Onana after not having him involved in pre-season for the last few games, etc. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think he'll go with... Actually, I think he'll choose Bayender. I want him to choose Heaton, but I think he'll go with Bayender. Bayender sort of played the last couple, didn't he, in pre-season? I think he'll go with Bayender, but I would like Heaton, and I don't think he's going to go Onana because that would just be career suicide. Alte, Heaton. Yeah, Onana had an arm transplant. Not yet, mate. No, unfortunately not. Onana, you'd prefer Heaton? Yeah, you like Bayender most. Show me Heaton. Let's go, Urbano. What's going on, lad? Heaton. Respect. Okay, anyway, well, it'll be interesting to see what Amorim does. This guy is apparently back ready and he could be available to play. Hopefully not. Reason I'm even talking about this is because obviously we do need to address the goalie position. There's a few on our shortlist. We've got, Lamens, we've got Martinez, we've got even Donnarumma, but unfortunately the Donnarumma links just don't really seem too strong from United right now. In fact, at the moment, it looks like City are leading the chase, doesn't it? This is what his agent said. So Donnarumma's agent Riola said Premier League is the right step for Gianluigi, in my view. We're working on it. There are zero talks with Italian clubs. We are still shocked by PSG's behaviour with Gianluigi. Manchester City are keen on him, apparently, says Fab. And there's reports from the likes of Rudy Galletti here that just say that City are in advanced talks on personal terms with Donnarumma. This is this afternoon. Identified as the main target to replace Ederson, on whom Galatasaray are pushing hard. A deal until 2031 for the Italian goalkeepers on the table. It's up to clubs. Man City have opened talks with PSG to discuss terms. Filth. Absolutely filth. So, I mean, these are some of the reports that we've come out. I mean, obviously it depends who you believe and everything. Like, I still hope that United are going to have a cheeky bid for him and try and get him because we need him more than anyone. And I still hope Ederson stays at City, etc. But, there are reports coming out, and this is just a BS report. But I did see it earlier, and there was one from L'Equipe in France as well, which is another BS report. But it did say that, City have reached an agreement with Donnarumma on a salary worth over 12 million euros a year. Well, I mean, I'm sure Manchester United could compete in terms of the salary. When you think about the money that we're saving from players this season, Rashford's off on loan, with all of his wages being covered. That's a saving of 350. Hopefully we can get rid of Sancho. Maybe we can save a couple of £100,000 a week there. Garnacho, get him gone. That's saving 50k a week in wages as well and giving us big money. Hojlund, significant money. Anthony, significant money. So we can claw back a lot of this money and we can afford the extra wages of a goalkeeper for a few £100,000, in my opinion, a week. I think we can afford to pay him just as much as they can or more. It just really depends on what Pep's planning to do. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised that they're so eager to get rid of the likes of Ederson to get someone like Gianluigi Donnarumma in, just because I feel like Donnarumma's more so of your conventional sort of, classic shot-stopping goalkeeper, and doesn't really strike me as sort of, Pep's style of goalie, but he is obviously the best goalie in the world, in my opinion. So I can see why anybody would want him. And I really hope they don't go for him. But at the moment, it does look like they are, having talks, at least maybe advancing on the personal terms, or maybe even having reached an agreement on personal terms, as some outlets are reporting, with the player. And then it would be on the clubs to reach an agreement, and PSG apparently holding out for about £50 million. There's only a year left on his deal. We know the case there. PSG quite happy to let him go because they've bought Chevalier in here now to replace him. Luis Enrique doesn't want Donnarumma. Donnarumma is hurt that he was dropped for the Super Cup squad and everything, and he's being forced out, basically. They're trying to make him move because they want to get the cash now, rather than him just walking in a year's time for nothing, which is maybe what he was planning to do if he wasn't going to sign a big contract at PSG, which they were not willing to give. So, he is available for not a huge amount of money compared to the actual sort of status or the player that he is. He's a big player, one of the best goalies in the world. Yeah, 50 million's a lot, but it's not crazy money, is it, really, for one of the best goalies in the world, even if he does only have a year left on this contract. And it might not be that much. It could be 40 million, 35 million, maybe a little few extra million down the line, because he does only have a year left, and PSG are not in the strongest position when it comes to negotiations, because, as I say, in a few months' time, Donnarumma can actually agree terms with another club, then join them next summer, so they miss out altogether on any funds. So they're going to have to be realistic. They might be asking for 50 million, but let's face it, 35, 40 million may well get the best goalie in the world right now. So from my perspective, United would be absolute mugs to not at least try and get him. Fair enough if he ends up going and choosing City because, I don't know, they've got Pep and they're up there in the league and win trophies in terms of the Champions League and stuff like that, which they've done recently, which hopefully gets rescinded and taken back off those cheating scummers. But the fact, they're up there. Whereas Man United finished 15th, it is a project, it is an awesome opportunity for the next several years, and he can stand to make big, big money if we were to go for him. But first of all, it doesn't seem like United's even really too invested in trying to get him, because surely we would already be having conversations with PSG if that was the case. And secondly, City's draw there in order to try and compete with them at the moment, you're going to have to pay him a lot. Now, you may convince him just to come for the money. Do we want players who are only coming for the money right now? It's a bit of a gamble, isn't it? He is a class player, and he does look like the sort of player that would come here and just try every single game for me. I've never seen him, when I've watched him in the Champions League and stuff, I've never seen him look disinterested or, not concentrated or whatever you want to say. So I feel like he'd be a great option for us for £300,000 a week. I'd be more than happy to see United get him. But as it stands, it looks like maybe City are leading the chase, and that is gash. Oh, let's ask the chat then. Where do you think Gianluigi Donnarumma ends up? Will he end up going to Manchester City, Chelsea, Man United? Apparently Man United and Chelsea not even interested in him. These are the reports I've seen. Ben Jacobs said United not interested in him. I think Fab said Chelsea actually not interested in him despite reports. We should be interested in him. That's my take. We should absolutely be interested in him. He's a great, great player. We are apparently still interested in signing a goalkeeper and Baleba, but we're maybe having to sort of get rid of players first, sell players first, generate a little bit more cash. We're working on Garnacho, we're working on Sancho, we're working on Hojlund, we're working on Anthony. So there's still a bit of business needs to be done first before we could even perhaps go in for someone like that, especially when we are looking to line up a deal for Carlos Baleba for 100 million plus, which we'll get onto next. But I just wanted to cover this sort of Donnarumma stuff because it looks like he's progressing to City. David says, fuck Donna, go all out for Baleba. Fair enough. Well, I actually don't really share that opinion. I know a lot of people do. I would still rather Donnarumma and even a different, slightly cheaper midfielder. That's honestly what I would prefer. I think Baleba just going all out for him, but yet sticking with Andre Onana is a bit of suicide for the season. Baleba would definitely help our midfield for years, and he'd be a fantastic signing. I really do want him. I really do want him. But not at the cost of not getting a goalkeeper. That's a real problem area for us. Can I just remind you guys of watching Andre Onana all of last season? Do we really want to go through that again? Do we really have faith that Andre's going to turn the corner? I'm sorry, the only corner he's going to turn is going off a cliff, mate. That's the only corner he's going to turn. If we continue with Andre in goals, it's a big, big risk and a big, big gamble. It's not even a gamble because we know what we're going to get from him. We're probably going to get error-prone performances. So you have to address it. Yes, okay, if we went for Lamens is a good option and he looks cheap and he's good and everything. But that's what it is. It's a cheap, good young option. It's not someone who's got the experience or the proven, reputation and standing in the game that Donnarumma has. Donnarumma's only 26. He's been playing for a decade. That doesn't come much more experience for that sort of player at that sort of age. So I'd be well up for it. But again, he probably is going to go to City at this stage. El Grande says City. Let City have him. Lamens all the way. I'm sorry, but I can't get behind this. Lamens is a great keeper. He looks really, really good. He's a Belgian Pro League friend. He's playing in the Belgian Pro League. Is he coming up against the best strikers, the best players in the world every single week, or is he coming up against a bunch of Belgian pitchfork-wielding farmers? That's what I want to ask. And honestly, I know the answer to that. The Belgian Pro League's decent, has some decent players. What is it, like the 14th best league in Europe or some shit? It's gash, mate. It's a gash league. Let's just say it how it is. So, okay, he does look good, and you can look good in a compilation, when you're playing in a lesser league. Goodness me, go down and follow one goalkeeper of one team at the Sunday League and video him like a player cam on Sky Sports throughout 38 games of a season and then edit together a sick compilation. I bet he looks like fucking Neville Southall in his prime. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's... Okay, he does look good. He is good. And he looks physical and a unit, and he looks like he's going to progress and get really good, and he's young. But are we seriously comparing Lamens to Donnarumma right now and saying they're the same? Because Donnarumma is a proven entity at the highest of levels. And Lamens has been playing with Belgian farmers, guys. He turns up to the game on a fucking combine harvester, I've heard. So you have to say it's not the same. Yes, he could be good, but that's a bigger gamble in some ways. Do you know what? There's an old expression, right? There's an old expression. Buy cheap, buy twice. Buy cheap, buy twice. There's another expression. We're too poor to buy the really cheap stuff. You know what I mean? Which means you can't afford for these things not to work out. You can't afford these things not to last. You can't afford that. It's worth paying more and having a guaranteed working, whatever. In this case, it's a product. In this case, it's a goalkeeper. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying here. Lamens is the cheap option. Lamens is the cheap wage option. He's the budget option. And he's a good young goalkeeper and it's good. But essentially, they'd be buying him to maybe be the second choice goalie. Are they buying him to come in and take over from Andre Onana right away? I'm not convinced. I think if they did buy Lamens, they'd be bringing him in to compete with Andre. And I don't want to see anybody compete with Andre apart from a goalkeeper in Italy who's playing for a team in Italy who's got Andre Onana in his team after we sold him. That's the only people I want to see Andre Onana competing with, not our players. Whereas if we sign Donnarumma, he's definitely going to be number one. He would definitely dislodge Andre Onana from the squad. And that would give Andre Onana, you know, the understanding of the situation that he needs, which is you are no longer the number one. We are going to try and find a new club for you. And then he'd be obviously open to leaving. So Lamens, I think, just adds a little bit of extra, you know, competition, but it's not necessarily proven that he's going to be the number one. Whereas Donnarumma, I've seen enough from him over the years to know what you're getting and to know that he's a great keeper. And the scary thing about Donnarumma is he can actually get better. He's only 26. Goalkeepers don't usually get into their best years until the 30s. You know, when they've got that level of experience and decision-making and judgment, all that stuff that comes with just raw experience. When they've still got all their reflexes, but they've got that experience in the game. And that's still to come for Donnarumma. Donnarumma's still got his best years ahead of him. So that's all the point I'm making here. Guys, I'll ask the live chat, though. You know, take their price tags into consideration. Let's dump a £50 million price tag on Donnarumma, and let's dump a £17 million price tag on Lamens. Let's say that Donnarumma costs £300,000 a week in wages, and let's say that Lamens costs, I don't know, £60,000 a week. He's on piss all over there playing in the Farmers League. So he's not going to be on a lot of United, especially if he's coming in under the premise that he's a B-team melter behind Andre. You know what I mean? So those are the terms of the deal. 60k, 15 million, whatever, 70 million for Lamens, 50 million for Donnarumma plus 300k. Who would you sign if you were Manchester United right now? Lamens for the cheap option or Donnarumma for the expensive, really expensive option? It is really expensive to pay that much for a goalkeeper and then the wages as well. So what is it? Which one? Who do you go for? Schmeichel on loan? Anyway, honestly, my opinion is buy cheap, buy twice. Let's go for Donnarumma. We know what we're getting. He's a proven top-tier keeper. Anyway. Donnarumma, Lamens, easy peasy Lamens. Throw a tractor in with that. Nick Pope, Lamens. Fair enough, Billy. Personally go for Martinez every day of the week. Winding Scousers and Cockneys up is what we need. I would like the shithousery that he brings to the table. I really rate Martinez. Not as highly as I rate Donnarumma, but I really do rate Martinez. He's a good option, mate. If he was available on the cheap for the right price, 25 mil, you know, we could definitely do worse. He's much better than Andre. Ashley Vote, what's going on? Donnarumma, no question. Pig, you were a keeper. Name your price. Not a lot, mate, to be fair. I'll play for $5,000 a month, mate. $5,000 a month, I'll be buzzing. Imagine getting 60 grand a year to play football. You know what I mean? Just imagine that. These guys don't even know they're born, some of these twats, getting £300,000 a week as late teens or early 20-year-olds. You know, they're getting 300k a week. I would be absolutely over the moon if I was making £60,000 a year playing football. In fact, I'd be over the moon making, you know, what I'm making now, which is about 30 grand a year. You know, I'd be absolutely buzzing my absolute mammaries off. That's a dream job, isn't it? So, you know, the reality is footballers do need to get paid more because it's a finite, short career. They do have to make more money in a short space of time, these professional athletes, because they're done by mid-30s, you know. So I get why they're paid so much, but a lot of these twats don't know they're born, do they? Dickheads. I mean, Big Doma is worth every penny, but Lamens is still levels above Flubberhands. There you go. We are Manchester United. We should get the best players in every position. I don't care. I don't care about that. I'm not interested in that, Super Fat Frank. I know what you're saying, but of course, Donna, I mean, I'm not interested in that there, Super Fat Frank. 300k a week for kicking a football makes me sick. It is ridiculous. I have watched Lamens. I'm not going to pretend that I've tuned in to watch Royal Antwerp play in the fucking Belgian Pro League every single week with my bloody binoculars out there on the old Lamens scouting watch, mate, for the last year. I'm not going to pretend that I've done that, but I've seen a lot of videos and footage of him and stuff. And yeah, looks like a good young keeper. I'd be interested in signing him. I would like to see him signed and Donnarumma, and we get rid of Andre Onana. You know, I would be up for that. But he's not better than Donnarumma. I don't care what anyone says. Donnarumma is so much more experienced and further proven. It's not even close. It's kind of like comparing. It'd be like saying, let's compare Vinicius Jr. to Alejandro Garnacho. You know, it's that ridiculous for me. In fact, it's even more ridiculous because at least Garnacho's been playing in, you know, the top Premier League and stuff for a couple of years. It's even more ridiculous. So, yeah, there you go. Again, we don't know. It's potential there with Lamans. Whereas with Donnarumma, it's proven at the top level. It's proven. Anyway, thanks for hearing me out. And I know not everybody's going to agree, but thanks for hearing me out and having your say there, you legends. Let's get on to the Baleba news then, guys. We've got some Baleba transfer news. Once again, if you're just joining the stream, do us a favour. Smash that like button on this stream. Help us get to 200 likes. That'd be amazing. Also, if you're new to the channel, you can get involved by subscribing. We're on here daily. I'm actually going to start trying to do 3 streams a day coming up, guys. We'll see how that goes. But 3 streams a day, like tomorrow, or at least a video or an upload. Like tomorrow, I think I'm going to do like a morning stream, like 8 a.m. Yeah? Yeah? With the morning news. And then I'm thinking of doing to be fair, tomorrow is going to be a bit different because the Liverpool-Bournemouth game's on. So in the evening, you know, I'll be doing the watch along for that. We're going to do that on the channel. And then also in the afternoon, I'm probably going to upload the Premier League prediction video because I'm going to do another Premier League prediction video. And that's got to be uploaded really by tomorrow because the Premier League's underway tomorrow. So I've got to get it on there tomorrow afternoon, probably before the game. So that's coming tomorrow. So it'll be a little bit different anyway. But from now on, I'm going to try and do a few different things a day, whether it's 3 streams or 2 uploads and 1 stream or 2 streams and 1 upload. We're going to try and do 3 things a day, guys. So strap yourselves in, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications, and let's be having you. Right, we're going to crack on then, and we're going to have a look at the latest on Baleba then. And this is sort of the latest situation, really. Miguel Delaney reporting this afternoon, a couple of hours ago, saying that Man United is actively pursuing Baleba, as Ruben Amorim wants a midfielder. Brighton want around £120 million. United is considering a payment package, possibly 80 million up front with add-ons. A player like Jadon Sancho might be offered, but Brighton's unlikely to accept. Yeah, they're very much unlikely to accept that shite, aren't they? Well, that's via Miguel Delaney again. You've got to take it with a pinch of salt, but it does look like we are about ready to move on Baleba. There is an expected bid incoming soon. Laurie Whitwell says this on the Baleba situation. He said, clearly finances are the big one. Brighton will say he's not for sale, but he will leave at some point. They've got him on a contract until 2028. He's locked in. I think there's a number that would get it sorted, but what is that number? That's what these conversations are trying to work towards. United will only make a bid if they feel it would be successful, like with Benjamin Sesko. I don't think Brighton have set a price for Baleba, and that's part of the issue. So maybe Brighton just asking for an astronomical figure. We know what they got for Moises Caicedo. Maybe they are just asking for 110 million or 112 million or 100 million. And that is a bit too much for us right now. You know, the ceiling really should be about 80 million for this guy. I mean, am I the only one that thinks this guy's not worth a penny more than 80 million? Because I know a lot of people just saying pay the money, but we're talking about paying a lot more money. We're not just paying a little bit more money than maybe what he's worth. We're talking about paying a lot more money than what he's worth. You're talking about paying 100 million. That's kind of crazy for me. But another update here from Marco Alcaraz. He just says that United will keep pushing for Carlos Baleba. Direct contact and club-to-club talks ongoing with Brighton. Man United want to accelerate the deal, and Baleba's more than open to the United project. Deal is absolutely on, but it won't be easy due to the size of the transfer. Yeah, so they're looking for big cash, 100 million excess maybe. Another report here says Brighton have not agreed to sell Carlos Baleba to United at this stage, but talks have now been held between the two clubs after initial talks with the player's agent. Baleba's keen on joining United, but Brighton won't be bullied into a sale. So Brighton have their price. We know that they're a very good selling club in recent years. They get a lot of money. Will this be closer to a João Pedro type transfer, or will it be closer to a Caicedo type transfer? Well, it has more Caicedo vibes about it with his age and his position and all of that sort of stuff. So it is going to be a lot more than João Pedro's gone to Chelsea for, but I hope it's not as much as what Caicedo went to Chelsea for. Somewhere in the middle would be about right. You know, £85 million tops, guys. That's my figure. Have your say. What's the max United should pay for Carlos Baleba to Brighton, guys? I'm saying 85 million. That's it. You're going 80 million, 80 plus 10. Yeah. Give Brighton 40 plus Garnacho. I like that. I wonder if they'd be interested in him. Probably not. Why would they want a bad egg like Garnacho? You just end up being Matoma's bitch anyway. You know what I mean? And just not getting in the team anyway. Yep, Baleba has a higher ceiling than Caicedo. He has the potential to be world leading, but he needs the right club. Your choice. Well, if you say so there, Mal. I mean, I definitely think he's a good young talent. But a lot can happen in these players' careers, lad. And, you know, I think Caicedo, okay, he had a bit of a ropey start when he went there. But, I mean, he's still got a lot to do in the game, yes. But I don't know. It's hard to say who's got the highest ceiling at this stage because he's only played a couple of seasons in the top flight. He is 21, though, and he does have huge potential. So maybe you're right. 80 plus 10 to 20 million in add-ons. 85 plus 10. Not worth more than 70. Hey, I respect it, Primo Italia. I don't think he is either. It's crazy cash we're talking about here. 50, 150. Nah, Sophie says it's already been agreed for 112. Where are you getting this from there, Sophie? The bottle of a Jameson's whiskey bottle. 80 million worth with 50 million add-on. Swap Bruno for Baleba. 120 gets you Welbeck also. 20 plus 80. Fair enough. Gungshi says can't see him going for less than 90 to 100. Yeah, it's a fair point. I mean, I don't know if they'd be willing to sell him for much less than that, because that does seem to be their sort of figure that they want. And they are a good selling club. They get what they want. They do. So, yeah, and they've got him contracted up, as we just discussed. They do have him signed up for another 3 years until 2028. So they sort of got us. They've got us by the short and curlies. You know what I mean? They've got us. What can we do, really? Yeah, we might have to just pay the money if we want this guy. It probably will be structured, good point. Payment spread out over the next 5 years. I would not mind that. If it's 100 mil, but it's over 5 years, I can justify that. It's like buying it on the Never Never, on the Klarna, on the PayPal credit. You know what I mean? If you're willing to spread it over 5 years, then okay, you're going to have to pay a bit of interest. I get that. I wouldn't mind that, actually. 80 plus 20 if it's over 5 years, 100 million, 20 million a year. That's actually kind of makes sense, because at least you're just structuring it then. Yes, it is expensive, but you're not having to fork out all of the money or even the majority of the money right now. So it's quite, that's quite favourable, you know. 80 million plus Farmer Casemiro, pitchfork included. Brighton would want 150. Well, we'd obviously not pay that, lad. 80 million plus 5 add-ons in 4 payments. Now 100 million, 80. Anyway, fair enough. Yeah, it'd be nice to get rid of some of those little melters there, my friend. That'd be nice. So Baleba talks continue. They're on. That's good. Positive news, guys. Brighton not agreed to sell him at the moment, but there are talks expected to be taking place over the next couple of days. You know, we are interested in him. If you look at all these reports we've looked at, we're actively pursuing him. We're talking in terms of between the two clubs, like we heard in regards to like the Sesko deal. Maybe we want a sort of green light first, the go ahead from Brighton that yes, we are prepared to say take 80 plus 20 over 5 years, or whatever you were talking about there, or whatever deal's on the table. They want at least a green light that they're prepared to accept a bid like that, and that they're in the same sort of ballpark. I think there will be some final negotiations, add-ons, all that sort of stuff. But the way we've been doing it, does look like, apart from Mbuemo anyway, it does look like we are sort of able to, we have been kind of moving quite quickly on the bids there. And once we've got the green light, we did it with Cunha, we've done it with Sesko when we had to, and then we matched Newcastle's terms as well in the end. So we moved quite quickly there. Obviously, Mbuemo is an absolute saga, but I think that's a lot down to Brentford. Will this be more so like the Mbuemo saga, where it's going to go on until right to the end of the window? It could. Or will United just be working on things behind the scenes here, get the green light from Brighton, and then table a bid, and then he's a player within a few days? That could also happen, I suppose. Fingers crossed, because we all want Baleba, guys. We all want Baleba. You know, me saying that we shouldn't be spending this money on that amount of money on him, it's not because I don't rate him and don't want him. It's just because I feel like there's one or two other areas in the team that seriously we do need to address. Like the goalie position. I'd hate to think that we're spending this money on Baleba and yet we've still got Flubberhands in goal, who's going to cost us so many areas throughout the season. Like, what's the point? Yes, we will score a lot more goals. Yes, we will be a lot more solid in midfield. Yes, this guy's going to have a big future for many years. He can take over, and alongside Kobbie Mainoo, maybe those two could establish themselves as United's two in midfield for the next however many years, once the likes of Bruno and Casemiro have gone. You know, so I understand the significance of this signing. But right now, I still think that we need a world-class goalkeeper. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point? We're still going to have a lot of error-prone moments where we're going to concede goals stupidly and give up a lot of points. So, you know, I still think that position needs strengthening. Fair enough if they're going to spend 100 million on this guy, but then end up getting Donnarumma as well, then I'll be absolutely fine with that, you know. Anyway, we're going to get into the chat now just for a moment on Baleba, and then we'll check the latest updates that may have come out this evening while we've been on this stream, see if there's any Man United related news. Then we're going to get into the live chat for a big Q&A. So yes, get yourself involved. Baleba is a red dancing with me. Hey, he had the audacity to griddy down Man United's tunnel, didn't he? Or was it? I saw a video of him griddying, walking next to United players. Wound me up, mate. Quality over quantity, mate. Yeah, fair enough. Get a back player to replace Lindelof and Evans. Well, yes, it depends if the right player comes available for not a lot. We're offered up a Meccano. I don't think we should go anywhere near him. He's a bit of a melter. Biggie, with Baleba, I don't think we'll lose his value. I think he's going to develop into a fine player. Don't worry about it. Love that, Kate Cadet. Yeah. Did you say the same thing about Rasmus Hojlund when we signed him a couple of years ago? I seem to remember you did. Do you know what I mean there, Kate? Did you say the same thing about Anthony Dos Santos, mate, coming over from Ajax? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Did you say the same thing about Garnacho a year ago before he started acting like a twat? Yeah, I think you did, because I did. I was loving Garnacho a year ago before he started acting like a twat. You know what I mean? I'm just saying there's a lot that can happen here, isn't there? But yes, mate, he does look really good. And it would be a shame to lose out on him. Yeah, I'd like to see us sign him, but we can't get bent over for 100-odd million. It has to be for the right price. Yep, okay, says we should learn something from the Brighton and Bournemouth recruitment team. We always buying high and struggling to sell. Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, it would be better for us to structure things a little bit better, not have players on too crazier wages. To be fair to this Baleba deal, he's only on 20k or whatever it is a week over there at Brighton. He's on chump change compared to what he'd be on at United. You might not even have to give him 6 figures or just 6 figures in order to come. So he's somebody that would still be very much saleable in a few years' time if it didn't work out. You know, but hopefully it would. I mean, it does look a great young talent. I do like him a lot. Evening, Piggy. We should be trying to shift on Casemiro, in my opinion, get money for him while saving a shit ton of his wages. Good point there, Johnny Swan. It would be nice to see Casemiro moved on. He's on too big of money. Just on that, actually, and this is another sort of bit of fuel to the fire for this Baleba transfer as well, just very quickly. Actually, before I do, let me just read this. Thank you so much, Ezio, you legend. He says, mortgage fund. Oh, thank you so much there, Ezio Auditory. You're an absolute stone-cold, ruddy hero, lad. Thank you so much. I don't know if you missed it, actually, Ezio, but we've now actually been granted our mortgage. We've got the official offer letter through. Get in there, my son. Come on, you beauties. Thank you so much, everyone who's been positive and supporting the channel and everything over the years. You're a set of fucking legends. Yes, we have got the mortgage offer now. We just got to, deal with a couple of different solicitors. We've got to have one representing the estate, and we've got to do a sale by the estate, me buying my brother and sister out. It's all complicated. It's going to take months and cost a lot of money. But it looks like we're staying here, my friend. Get in there. Thank you, Ezio. That'll come in very handy, you legend. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Ezio, lad. Also, right, let's get onto this. So this is adding a bit more fuel to the fire. Toby Collier on the verge of leaving Man United to join West Brom on loan. So that's another midfielder that will be going out on loan. I don't feel too bad about it. I like Collier. It's only a loan. He'll be coming back. Maybe it's a good opportunity for him to develop, get some game time a little bit. It's a bit of a shame, but if we're signing Baleba for 100 mil, then obviously there's going to be limited opportunities for this guy this season. It makes sense for him to go somewhere and play, and he'll still be coming back in a year, and he still could have a really good career in the future. So good luck to Toby Collier. You know, I get it. I get it, because if we're getting Baleba, and it looks like we are, it looks like we're at least going to try and get him. And if we can't get him because Brighton want too much, or we just can't get an agreement in place, then I think we'd go for a different midfielder this summer, wouldn't we? So Collier going out on loan makes sense. It's a shame maybe we couldn't have just sold Casemiro, because Casemiro's at that point where he's ready to be moved on. But he's on such a sweet deal at Man United, and unless he's going to get that same money playing elsewhere, he might as well just sit around for a year. He can still be a committed professional and play, but he's just not going to be as a regular for us in the team, but also probably not to the same standard that he was a few years ago, sadly, Casemiro. So it would be nice for us to move him on, but he's difficult to move on because of his wages. And does he even want to go? He looks pretty happy here at Manchester United. So Collier, good luck to him, but it's kind of a shame. But it makes sense in a lot of ways if we're going to sign Baleba, which it does look like we are at least going to try. Kate Cadet, thank you so much, mate, for your super chat here as well. Yes, sorry, I did mention it on a FIFA stream the other night. I'm guessing most of you weren't in that, so that makes sense. Sorry, I should have said. Yes, mate, it looks all positive. Look, I'm that kind of sort of pessimistic individual. I feel like something's going to go wrong. So let's not count our chickens just too soon yet. But yes, we have actually been given an official offer of a mortgage for enough that we need to buy out my bro and sis. So get the fuck in there, my son. Sue! Thank you, the Cake Cadet. Appreciate you, man. No, I'm very happy about that, mate. Very happy. I mean, it's still, I was expecting it to feel like a bit of a weight off. It doesn't. It feels like a weight on at the moment because there's still all this shit to sort out. But once that's all sorted out, it's going to feel like a weight off, I'm sure. Yeah, nice one. Thank you, the Cake Cadet. I appreciate you. Right, let's talk about this as well. So, Colin to West Brom, maybe, Baleba. We're working on Baleba. Talks in the background. Hopefully, we put a bit in there very, very soon. That'll be great. That's the situation. Oh, on to Garnacho now, guys. So, New report from Fab this evening just says that talks for Alejandro to Garnacho to Chelsea continue in the background as the two clubs are in contact. Garnacho maintains his position. Only Chelsea in personal terms, 100% agreed. He's waiting for the green light. So this is seriously gathering the steam that we want to see. Unfortunately, it's to a rival such as the Chelsea Scummers. I want to see us get big money for this guy. I'd hate to just hand him over for 50 mil because I think he is a good talent and can go on and have a great career still. They need to pay us 60 million or something would be lovely. But anyway, just wanted to put that report up on the screen there because, well, it just came out this evening from Fab. It's nothing more new that we didn't already know. But that's sort of the situation there. Talk's still ongoing in the background. Chelsea and United trying to work out some sort of a deal here. They've obviously already reached an agreement in terms of personal terms with Garnacho and the player, so he wants to go. We know that Garnacho only really wants to go to Chelsea because he's a spoilt little brat and he fits in perfectly well at Chelsea, doesn't he? Chelsea's the ideal club for this little melter, to be fair. When I think of Chelsea, I think of, bringing the game into disrepute by cheating. I think of dirty oil money. I think of, Russian oligarchs. I think of just spending hundreds of millions a season, chucking loads of shite at the wall until it sticks. I think of sacking managers left, right and centre every 2 minutes. I think of just basically a bit of a shithouse football club. Yeah, that's right, I said it. So I think Alejandro Garnacho fits perfectly well in there because he's a shithouse. And so his mentality fits the Chelsea mentality of a bunch of overpaid, overhyped prima donna twats. There you go. So good luck to him anyway. Alejandro Garnacho to Chelsea. I hope he's not very good for them. I hope he's a waste of money, a waste of time. I hope he goes on and have a truly awful career there. But I do believe he's a very talented player, and I'm sure he's going to do well for them, in all honesty. And so that's why I think we should get big cash for him. If we let him go for 50 to a Premier League rival, that is us getting bent over. This guy's on 50k a week, guys. He's not on 500k a week. He's not on 300k a week like Sancho. He's not difficult to move on from a wage point of view. So that's where we should be getting the fat money up front then, shouldn't it? How are United incapable of getting big money for a player? Whether they're on hundreds of thousands of pounds a week or chump change. We can't get big money for players, it seems. Goodness me, if this guy was playing for Nottingham Forest, he'd be worth 78 million right now. You know what I mean? We are absolutely a joke in the window. So if we ended up selling him to Chelsea, one of our actual big rivals, for 50 million, after they've had our pants down a couple of years ago for Mason Mount for 60 million, then that's piss poor, isn't it? We can't do that. So fair enough. I'm happy to sell him to Chelsea, but they still need to pay for this guy. We need money to finance other deals anyway. So we've got to try and negotiate this deal up as much as we can. 65 million quid. 65 million quid to you Chelsea shithouses. Pay it or do one. And we're happy to let him rot on the fucking bench, mate. In reserves. Nice one. Creeper says, get the violins out. I'll get them out, mate. I'll get them out. Yeah. You agree, says MT. Garnacho, yeah, unfortunately, Nacho's just another El Shawari or Ben Arthur. Now special. Yeah, well said. So Garnacho, and that's a bit of a discredit to the likes of them, actually. Now it's special, yeah. Sell Garnacho for 50 plus add-ons and sell on. Fair enough, that's a good point. Maybe 50 plus, and then you have some add-ons down the line, which takes it up to maybe more than 60, and then percentage of a sell-on clause in the future could get you a bit more money down the line. It's not a bad idea. Mason Mount starts Sunday. Best not be, mate. Get another CM and maybe another goalkeeper for Onana leaves. Only Rashi gone and that's on loan. Where's these outgoings? Well, at the moment, there's a few being worked on, isn't there? It looks like Sancho Roma, if he decides that he's actually wanting to play for a great Italian team like Roma, which hopefully he does want to. If he does, then that deal looks like it's going ahead. Obviously, Hojlund still being worked on with the likes of AC Milan, possibly on loan. But maybe we end up keeping him anyway just for cover. And then Anthony Dos Santos is still up in there, so we could still sell a few players. I know, that is an absolute joke, isn't it? Yeah. Amari Hutchinson going for 37.5. Garnacho should be double that. Precisely, if Madueke's going for 55 million or whatever he went for, then you've got to say that Garnacho should be worth at least that, if not more than that. You agree, Studio, you'd rather keep him and let him on the bench if Chelsea don't give us more than 50. Precisely, we shouldn't just give him to Chelsea. We don't owe Chelsea anything. In fact, we should charge them a premium because they're Chelsea. Facts. You spent 2,000 on streaming equipment all summer long. Wow, really, Hardcore Game? That's immense. You must have a pretty sweet setup, lad. Cut their wages by 3/4, all Premiership players. Then they just go to other leagues then, though. That's the sad reality. You know, the market sets the value, unfortunately. These players would go to the Saudi League or Spain or elsewhere, wouldn't they? They just would. Unless the world was going to agree to some sort of salary cap. Can see us being stuck with the human fidget spinner. Me too. Mate, thank you so much there, Ian Navarro, for your super chat. He says, brilliant on the mortgage pig. Thank you so much, Ian. I appreciate that, lad. He says, on Baleba, of Gash that were attempting to sign this lad. And he's the only lad in the squad with the profile we need. So much pressure on him. I think 90 plus 10 for him. Well, that's another thing that comes with a big transfer like that. We've actually seen it happen at United many times in the last few years, and we're still doing it, aren't we? Which is maybe signing players for just a bit too much, for too big of a price tag, and they're expected to come in and be the best player in the world. And all this guy's done, really, is he's come in and been a good, solid, great defensive midfielder for Brighton for a couple of seasons in the Prem. And he looked all right at Lille before, and he's only 21, and his potential is massive. He's very athletic, great ball winner, all that sort of stuff. He looks really good. But it's a lot of pressure, isn't it, to come in and be like United's £100 million signing in midfield. You're not wrong there, lad. Thank you so much, Ian Navarre. I really appreciate that. You're a legend. You think 90 plus 10? Well, yeah, I mean, again, if it's structured over a few years, I don't mind paying more. If it's an upfront right now or a payment right now, 80 million is absolute tops, really, around about there. But if it's structured over a few years, then I understand paying 100 million makes a bit of sense, yeah. Chelsea should pay United 90 million. Yeah, man. Well, if it wasn't for this guy's attitude, he probably would be worth that. Genuinely, you go back a year. Go back before this whole Ten Hag sacking and, Ruben Amorim fallout and all this sort of stuff. Go back to before that a year ago. He was hot property in world football. He was winning Puskás Awards for best goals of the year. He was winning FA Cups with Manchester United. He was playing regularly for us. He was scoring goals, getting assists. His stats were good for a young player in the season before last. And he had the world at his feet, and he'd probably be worth at least 70, 80 million, even then. And now, an extra year or so developed, he's actually rocketed down in price. And that's not because of his talent, it's because of his attitude, it's because of his actions. That's it. I'm sure other teams are looking at this guy thinking he's just not got a great mentality. He's a bad egg. Who needs a toxic little melt like this in your team? So that's what's happened here. He's not worth 70 million because he's a bad egg. He's got a gash attitude. So that's it, really. He stitched us up out of 20 million just by being a prick. What a knob. Garnacho and Sancho name ends the same three letters. Yes, it does. I wonder if that's something to watch for in the future. Interesting. Well, Sesko is similar, but not quite. It's a fair point. Definitely watch out for that, mate. Russell Bland, thank you so much for your super chat, mate. He says, new season, innit? Exciting times. Yeah, so just to let you know, if you didn't hear it, by the way, we are doing a FPL Fantasy League. Let me just see if this works. If you put an exclamation mark FPL in the chat, it should pop up with a little link to join. Yeah, there it is. To join my Fantasy League. That's the auto join link in the chat there. So if you're on fantasy.premierleague.com or want to sign up, it's free to play, obviously, throughout the season. Get in there before the Liverpool game tomorrow night so you can start off on the same footing as everyone else. It's also on my community page. If you want to click on my community page on my channel, there is a link to the FPL League right there. So you guys feel free to join it any which way you can. Nice one. Also, what was the other thing I was going to mention? Yeah, we are doing an afternoon video tomorrow. There'll be an upload, which is the Premier League predictions for the season, Man United predictions, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to make a video tomorrow morning when I get up, edit it and stuff, and upload it, maybe premiere it afternoon or early evening. So keep a lookout for that tomorrow. It'll be before the Liverpool game. And then also we're going to do a watch along for the Liverpool game as well, just because it's the Premier League opener. So it'd be great. Wouldn't it be lovely to see Bournemouth spank them up, lad? Yeah, that would be lovely after they lost to Palace as well. So yes, mate, we're going to watch that in the hope that Bournemouth do indeed spank them up. That'll be the opener of the Premier League. We're watching that tomorrow night. Come and join us for the live watch along for that. And then obviously tomorrow there'll be a Premier League prediction video coming out. Thank you, T-Mill, you legend. Right now, guys, I'm going to get into the live chat and then we're going to have a rundown of what we discussed. Before I do, I'm just going to shout out everyone that reposted us on X, and then I'll check the latest reports on X there very quickly. Make sure we haven't missed any big news tonight that's been coming out. So we've had 11 reposts. Thank you so much to all you legends for sharing it around. Every little helps there. Aaron, Ryan Neeson, John Jackson, United Flying High, Paul Nangle, Larry Hass, Andy Davidge, Dave Dewey, The Butcher of Manchester, Francois Cock, and John Boy Cat. Thank you so much to all of you legends there for sharing us around. That's much appreciated, you legends. Okay, let's get stuck into the live chat. Oh, no, wait, sorry. Let me just double check the latest updates from the journos we've got here, with alerts on, etc. See if there's any big news that's come out last few minutes or this evening. Let's have a little look. Aston Villa made contact with Hector Fort. No, nothing to do with us. Middlesbrough closing in on Sver Naipan. Nothing to do with us. Jackson Chachui will join Wolves from Hellas Verona. Nothing to do with us. David Ornstein says Brentford reach agreement with Bournemouth to sign Dango Utara. Deal for 23-year-old winger. Brentford club record 37 plus 5. Wow. Fucking ass, a lot of money. You see what I mean? No disrespect, but if Dango Utara, 23-year-old winger, is going for 37 plus 5, that's £42 million. If he's going for that, then I'm sorry to say, but Garnacho's got to be worth a lot more, doesn't he? Rudy Galletti said 49 minutes ago, AS Roma have jumped strongly into the race for Sancho, pushing to move quickly before rivals Juve, Dortmund, Besiktas make further moves. Man United are assessing a £20 million bid, while Jadon is weighing up his salary demands. No definitive answer yet, expected soon. See, this could all fall down. It depends who's willing to pay Jadon the most, I guess, because he is a big tit. So that's the situation there. Right, anyway, let's get stuck into the live chat, guys. That's the latest update. We're 15 likes off of 200 likes. Give us a thumbs up and help us get to 200 likes on this stream. We're going to be back on doing more uploads, more videos, live streams. We're going to try and do 3 a day, morning, afternoon, evening, at least uploads or streams. So that's the plan going forward. Not yet, Billy. I'm going to order it in on payday, lads. So basically when... I think we got to the 28th to order it to get the free stuff, don't we? You know, like the icon and the early access. So I'll definitely get it before the 28th. Mr. Anonymous, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. He says, for the house, lad. You're a bloody legend, Mr. Anonymous. Danke schön there, Mr. Anonymous, lad. That's awesome of you. Thank you so much. What a legendary anonymous individual you are. Cheers for that, lad. That's amazing. Also, thank you, Paul Smith, stand-up comic, for subscribing to the channel there. Let's be having you. Brentford fans been stitched up? Yeah, you know it. Cherries will be popped. I think Brentford are going to really struggle this season. You know, they'll be in a relegation battle, I reckon. You never know, but I expect them to be. They lost a few good players, haven't they? Garnacho worth 70 to 80. Josh Lee says 50 to 60. Elanga worth like 50 to 55. Precisely. If he's, you know, fair enough. Yeah, even if 60 million, come on, 60 million's about right for Garnacho, even more so. Yeah, to you, Garnacho's worth 70. Well, you got to take off 20 million for his gash attitude. That's a fair point, Russell. You know, I'd rather have Elanga. Nacho's worth £3,000. Baleba £8,000. Garnacho will go more money than Elanga. He should do as well, though. He's younger, isn't he? He's 21. He's only just turned 21. Would it be hilarious if Scott wins the Ballon d'Or? That'd be tremendous, Russell Bland, yeah. Obviously, he's not going to. Who do you reckon is going to win the Ballon d'Or this year? Probably it's between like the likes of Dembele and, you know, Yamal. I don't know, maybe Vinny. Who knows? There's Salah is in contention, I guess. But yeah, I'll probably say Dembele because he's won the Champions League. He's won, you know, all the guff. Did they do a Mickey Mouse treble over there in France? Probably. And then he also won the Super Cup as well, you know. So he's had a big year, hasn't he? He's had a big year. Yamal's up there, yeah. Dembele, Yamal, Dembele. Yeah, Scotty's not really in with a chance, but he just to be on the list is amazing, isn't it? Just to be nominated is amazing there. Newcastle could struggle with lack of signing. 75 mil. Come on, you Scousey Aries. Isn't it the 26th you need to pre-order by? Yeah, somewhere around that rest. I'll definitely order it before. Basically just waiting for payday from YouTube there, lad, which comes around about the 22nd to the 24th, and then I'm going to just get it then. 19, 20-year-old wankers who didn't win anything in life, didn't achieve anything, just blessed with a talent, acting like the world belonged to them. Football changed. You're not wrong, Evo, lad. It used to be a good, honest, working-class sport back in the day. You know what I mean? It really did, and people played for the love of the game. And then it just got more and more silly, didn't it? More and more silly. Garnacho worth less than his haircut. Everton finish 8th, Man United finish 5th. Yeah, how can Mount be worth 50 million 1 year ago? We sold Garnacho for 40 million. Holy crap, that's crazy. Yeah, no, it just doesn't add up. Garnacho's got to be worth at least what Mount's worth there. If it's based purely on performance, then Yamal by miles. Yeah, fair dues. He has had an incredible year. United should get award for the worst United team in a decade. Yep, well, 40 years. Never mind a decade. Worst United team in 40 years is what it is. Yep, cherries are Bournemouth, we know that. The higher the wages and club's revenue, the worse it gets. Happens to every sport. Dembele did much more than Yamal. Well, in terms of winning things, definitely. I think Dembele probably deserves it this year, mate. Yamal's so young, he's going to be in contention many other years. This is Dembele's time probably, isn't it? What's my expectation? I think 60 million, Rajat's the minimum we should be looking to get for that guy. 60 mils. That's just been Jadon for 20 mil, sick of this melt. Well, that's one great thing that could happen soon is that we can finally get rid of this Jadon Sancho melter. But don't hold your breath because there's still some things that can fall down there. Crikey, have we been on here an hour and 10 minutes already? Holy crapola. Right, well, we'll read a couple more comments out, then we're going to wrap this up. Smash that like button, get yourself subscribed. Tomorrow, lots of content coming. Keep a lookout for it, you legends. Should give Newcastle the nickname prison. No one wants to go. They are being absolutely mugged off this summer, isn't it? And I'm there for it, lad. It can't be as bad as last season. Nah, even if we didn't sign a single player, it wouldn't have been that bad. But now with Mbuemo, Cunha, Sesko, potentially Baleba, maybe a new goalie, I think we're actually going to have a properly good season. I think we could finish top 6, mate. Especially if we get goalie and Baleba, then I think maybe even we could get into the top 4. You never know. Smash up Arsenal first game of the season, we'll start to believe. With the signings we made this summer alone, who do you think will have the most impact? Honestly, I do think Sesko will have a big impact because he's replacing somebody that got us 3 goals last year. So even if he's half good, even if he's just pretty decent, and gets 10 or 15 goals, 10, 12 goals in a season, that's way better than Hojlund. So he'll have a big impact, I think, compared to what we had. Also, I do think, obviously Cunha strikes me as a match winner. You don't think I've seen a worse United team in my lifetime? I certainly haven't, as the one last season. And this season's going to be a new entity, hopefully. Garnacho to Chelsea, please. No, get in there, Gaz. It's looking likely that, you guys are interested in him. There's talks going on behind the scenes. There's the report once again there, lad. Get in there, Gavster. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, lad. When's the next Timo video? So I've actually written it, or written most of it. I just haven't had a chance to record it yet. And I don't know, probably it's going to be like Sunday now, mate, or Saturday, because I want to get it out. It's about Garnacho to Chelsea, so I want to get it out soon before it actually happens. So I will do it. But as I say, I've got to do that Premier League prediction video. It's going to take a bit of time and a bunch of other stuff. So we'll see. I want to see all our misfits gone by deadline day. Same. Our owners are signing players for Roma. I think they will be raising, well, largely. I think we'll get rid of Garnacho and Sancho, the bad eggs. Maybe not Hojlund and Anthony, but, so I'm not really crazy if they stay. I don't mind that much. Obviously, they're gash, but it's not going to upset too much. Do you think Spurs will struggle? I mean, I do. I think they'll finish top 10, though. Thomas Frank's a good coach. They did finish so far down there, but if we're expecting us to go from 15th and up there, they have made some new good signings. People like, obviously, Kudu. I think they're trying to get Savinho at the moment as well. I think that a £70 million bid rejected, didn't they, last I heard? And they've made a couple of decent signings. So, yeah, they'll probably be better. And they're going to have Thomas Frank there who knows what he's doing. So I think they'll finish top 10. But I don't think they'll be up there, getting in Europe, personally. Is it ironic that Golden Ball's never won the Golden Ball, or did he? Beck's ever win it? No, Beckham never did win. I think Beckham finished second one year, though. Yeah, Beckham finished second one year, mate, for the Ballon d'Or, I'm pretty sure. Michael Owen won it, didn't he? Michael Owen, I seem to remember winning it. Who else won it that's English, guys? Kevin Keegan. Kevin Keegan won it, didn't he, back in the day a couple of times, mate? Anyway, I'm 25 hours into my fast. Well, that's awesome, Jens. Yeah, fair play to you, Dan. That's awesome. You can. You got to pay up 50 million as well. Nice. You just got your lad in Argentina 86 shirt. That's football heritage in the making. Take your telegram. Hoctur. Really? Of all the shirts? Okay, that's nice, mate. That's cool. I mean, it's an iconic shirt. What a player. What a tournament he had. But that's the same very tournament that he cheated England with the hand of God, Jarvis, lad. I don't want to see that shit. You know what I mean? I don't want to see that. Goodness me. Right, can't we, if that's awesome, though, Jarvis, lad. Can't wait to see Xerxes with Kuda and Buebo one-touch immaculate. Oh, yeah. I think so, Josh Lee. Yes, by the end of the August, summer transfer window here, yeah. Your hair's gone after Onana last 2 seasons. Oh, man, time to go to Turkey, isn't it? Get some hair plugs, lad. We have to sign a new goalkeeper, please. Charlton Greaves. Yeah, donate to some of our club. I did see that. That is class, to be fair, Gavs. That is actually real class. And to Andre Silva's family as well, right? That is a class little touch, that, from Chelsea, I've got to say. Should we not be trying to sell all the treasonous mercenaries to the Saudi League? Yes, we should, but they're on a winner at United, so unless they can get more there, why pick up sticks and go, you know what I mean? Hand of God, yeah. Yeah, Stanley Matthews, Bobby Charlton. Legends, mate. Absolute legends. Nah, Kevin Phillips didn't. Kevin Phillips didn't. You were talking about the Golden Boot, mate, in the Premier League. He won that. Kevin Phillips won the Ballon d'Or. Piss off. No, he just won the Golden Boot one season, mate. He got 30 goals, didn't he, for Sunderland? Kevin Phillips was a great striker back in the day, but not Ballon d'Or worthy. You know what I mean? Right. The hand of God, more like the hand of Satan, exactly. Thank Maradona for VAR. Well, you can actually thank Frank Lampard for VAR, because it was at the 2010 World Cup when that truly did become a thing of, right, we have to address this now, don't we? Or at least goal line technology. Why can't we sell Onana, Pig? What do you think? Yes, we can, Essender. If we sign a new goalie, then he will be moved on. I'm sure of it. He'll want to play. You're going to have to watch the stream back, Viable Solutions. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but you can watch it back, Viable Solutions. But welcome a new legend. Maradona Scotsman of the Year, A6. How dare you? Get some cheeky deep fried battered cans of Reinbrew in there, my son. Yeah, you guys have been loving that. Even all you legends. Let's go, Michael Jenkins. I think we're going to finish 6th. I'm going 6th, Michael. Oh, we should get Vardy, lad. Piggy, can you please tell me who Everton are interested in? No. You have just signed Grealish on loan, though, in case you don't know. That's a big signing for you guys, I reckon. Can we sell Onana to Asian All-Stars? Oh, man. Anyway, listen, guys, we're going to wrap up this stream here, but great chatting to you legends as always. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's getting a bit toasty in here, guys. I'm a bit warm. 28.4 degrees. I'm sweating a bit. I'm going to leave it there. We've been on here for an hour and 15 minutes. That's plenty enough. That's a good chat with the Bacon Brigade. There's the latest news. We're going to be on here tomorrow with the latest updates. Keep a lookout. Going to try and do an early morning stream as well. We'll see how we get on with that. You know what I'm like. But yeah, keep a lookout. And as I say, Premier League predictions tomorrow. Join the Fantasy Football League. Put an FPL in the chat. I'll do that right now. The link will pop up. Go and join the FPL League if you fancy. It's also on my community page. Thank you to all the moderators for getting in here, or the mod squad in blue. People like Gavs, Highlights, and Tactical Devils, and Gungshi, and all the legends. Thank you to all the mod squad. Thank you to all the members in green for supporting the channel as well. People like Rajat, Dave Watkins, and everybody in the live chat there in green. Viable Solutions, Gungshi, Rajat, Dave Watkins, you legends. Thanks to all the chatters, James, Muscle Char, Stephen, Madhouse, Rajat, Andy. Thank you once again, Gungshi, for being an absolute legend, sir. You have a great day / evening. I'm guessing you're, well, I don't know, either just getting up or going to bed, lad. But have a great day / night. Cheers, Dave. Nice one, Russell, Raisin, Nath, Mr. Anonymous, Gav's Highlights. I am, mate. I'm going to do the Premier League opener. So come and join us for the watch along tomorrow night there for that, guys. Nice one, legends. Thanks there, guys. Everyone, cheers, Larry, Muscle. Cheers for that, Larry. I appreciate you. You can come back after and get your thoughts in about anything we've discussed. You know, Donnarumma and Baleba, and of course, Sancho to Roma, which looks really promising. Get rid of that melter. Come back and have your say. Follow us at the links in the description at Flying Pig United on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick. Big up to all you legends getting in here. Love the community chat as always. Thanks for watching. Thanks for getting involved with your say. You're a set of absolute legends. You got him a 2008 Champions League final shot with Ronaldo on the back too. Well, that is acceptable, my friend. That's more than acceptable. That's awesome, mate. Dad of the year for Jarvis there. Respect. That's it from me then, guys. Have a great night. Cheers, Raisin, Billy, Studio, Russell, and everybody else. Have a great night. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, links are in the description. Follow us on social media at Flying Pig United. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com. So check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.